It was written for some friends who had a farm. Actually, that's what's changed from last year to this year. They no longer have the farm. Remember how it was? We were in the grip of drought this time last year, and I couldn't believe how many of those beautiful little creeks all the way up are flowing. They've been coming up here for 20 odd years, and you hardly ever see water in them. It was great. This couple were declared drought affected and on drought assistance just before their first son was born, and he's now 13. So this year they're doing okay, but last year they sold the farm. I was very worried about them because of him in particular. But I'll sing it for them because they had sold the farm. And actually, I'll tell you what happens when the song finishes, because it sort of leaves a question. Once there were flowers in the valley, and green on the hill. Rain in the springtime and grain to the mill. Colour in the garden, fish in the creek. A house full of laughter, and you love me. And now there's dust and a heartless sky. Dust and a heartless sky. Oh, year follows year like one great sacrifice. The sun staring down with a fevered eye, and while prayers rot in heaven, hope makes us our slave. And too many blue skies just blew the land away and into dust and a heartless sky. A curse on the land my father swore was true. You care for this land, it'll care for you. When did we stop talking? When did you start walking? This is all I know. This is all I know. There's one thing, my darling, I need to understand. Are you leaving me, or are you leaving this land? All this dust and a heartless sky. Hey, dust and a heartless sky. I think you need to leave. I have a friend here this evening who I think I first met 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Haven't seen her since, apart from a few emails. And she turned up all the way from Melbourne, that's lovely, with her grandmother. We'll have a Guinness later. I forget words, I never usually do. But anyway, What do I do? I think we'll do something fairly political, if you don't mind. And I'd talk to anyone about politics. I actually, you know how you're not supposed to talk about religion and politics? It's about the only two things I'm interested in. But with respect, by the way, I was actually saying to Nicola that my family's split down the middle. We have some extreme lefts, some extreme rights, and some in the middle, and they're only in the middle because they don't want the arguments. That's what basically. So, I was saying I was at an RSL in Moama only a few days ago, and it was a fundraising concert for East Timor, and some of the men there were so angry that we would be raising money for someone other than an Australian.
Oh, kidding.
But the thing that's really got me, well, it's actually had me for nearly 12 years, but it's got me at the moment, is that we're back to that turning the boats around rubbish, and I'm so angry about it.
Yeah.
And I said to the guys down the back who had their arms folded, I said, look, if you want to vote for Tony Abbott because you like his policies, you know, it's a democracy, brilliant, go and do that. If you want to vote for Tony Abbott because you think Labor Party's made an absolute... Well, I swore then, there's no kids around, is there? Well, there is, well, there'll be no swearing, don't you worry. If you didn't like what the Labor got up to and you want to vote for Tony Abbott, that's fine, but in fact, they even said, you know, fellas, you've got a little bit of a penchant for men in Speedos, that's fine as well, you go for it. But I said, you know, if you're voting for Tony Abbott because he'd send the boats, he'd turn the boats around, well, then you should be absolutely ashamed of yourself. And, geez, I had to run out of the place after that. Anyway. Because this hulking mass you see in front of you probably could have handled it, but I thought maybe I shouldn't. So we'll do this. It's a fairly new song. I was saying before that I saw John Williamson back in '88 at Port Fairy, and he said, look, I've got a new song I'd like to try, and he got his words out, and I was always told that was a no-no, so I thought if John Williamson can do that, I can. They're right here. I'm just being honest with you. Right here. I think I'll be right, but given just what happened in the first song, let's do it. Real stickler for tuning, so bear with me. I dreamed of golden shores, white sand and bluest ocean. Saw a rolling boat, barely afloat, filled with human desperation. I awoke to the wounded truth, to the sight of haunted faces, shattered shells escaping hell inside of freedom's destination. And we turned the boat away. Yeah, we turned the boat away. Yeah, we turned the boat away and turned away. To run toward the fate of faith, up a gangway's floating gallows, trust death encrusted vessels, and float a hopeless sorrow. See a vast and fertile shore, dare to dream into tomorrow, and find a careless land whose heart will beat forever hollow. Ere we turn the boat away, ere we turn the boat away, we turn the boat away, we turned away. I stand under city lights where politicians sweat and they wake in fright